It's 4:30. You know what that means. It is time. It is time for the live stream, the Mitch live stream. Be the boss of your money. I do this every Monday through Thursday at 4:30 p.m. It's all about personal finance, making you the boss of your money because it's so easy to lose control of your money for your money to be the boss of you. We're doing something a little different. Just want to say a quick update. Markets have fully recovered that major sell-off from Monday. Fully recovered. So if you made any rash decisions, acted on headlines, which we always say, we don't make investment decisions based on headlines because you watch the show, you know to avoid those things. You're fine. Nothing happened. Maybe you even did a little bit of buying, and good for you if you did. Today is a little different. I have a special guest. I like to have my guests on Wednesdays. A very good friend of mine, very smart individual, someone I've known for a long time, Filippo Imennato. He is VP of development for Meowcoin. He actually works in the business of crypto. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to pick his brain. He's going to have to do a little work for us and convince us why crypto really is something real. I have to say, I go back and forth. I'm a believer. I'm not a believer. We'll see what he has to say and get your questions ready. So welcome to the live stream. If you're watching this now, of course, ask your questions in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching in the replay, same thing. Go ahead and ask us any questions. Filippo will see those questions and he will get back to you. What we're going to do now is roll a quick intro. And by the time we come back, Filippo is going to be on with us and it's going to be good. And here we go. Hey there, everyone. Here's Filippo Imennato. Filippo, how the heck are you, buddy?
What's going on, Mitch? Can't tell you how excited I am. Very honored. I watch the show quite frequently, so to be on it is truly a blessing to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your friendship, and we've known each other a long time, and we talk a lot about markets and investing, and throughout the whole pandemic when we had the shutdowns. We used to talk at night while I used to walk around the local high school track, and I would call you, and we talk about crypto and all the crazy things going on because you always have your fingers on the pulse of the market, and I love that
Absolutely.
about you. And you're not just someone talking stocks and slinging stocks. You are a true enthusiast in stocks, but in particular in crypto. So I'll just say this: this is Filippo Imennato. His opinions are his own. Have to
yes, they are.
This disclaimer. In there.
I also say I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA, and that's why we have professionals such as yourself to help people make those decisions.
Right. And I always say I am not your mama, and I am not your papa. Just in case people got confused or something. I'm having so much fun with this live stream. It's crazy. I see a few people out there who are watching. So while you're watching, give it a thumbs up, maybe give it a heart. Let me know where you're from so I could see you. And we got our first heart. We've got a few people out there. The first, Asher. You know Asher?
Of course. Asher always.
He is out there. I just met Asher for the first time in person. Eric Hagan is out there also. Eric is one of mine. He's one of my people. Okay. But I met Asher for the first time last week, and it's like we already knew each other because we're friends on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. So by the time we met each other, it wasn't like we had to start with an introduction. We just went right into the convo. So, Filippo, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do at Meowcoin, what it's all about, please.
Sure. So my role at Meowcoins, first and foremost, we are a cryptocurrency developed on the Stellar blockchain. So we'll get into blockchains and things like that in a bit. But the mission and the focus for us is 10% of the coins or tokens will be donated back to animal charities and animal welfare, as well as 10% of profits. So we're a cryptocurrency. We allow people to buy, hold, trade. But in addition to that, the mission is to use the business develop applications, develop platforms, and use the profit and the tokens to help animals, not just locally here, but we have partnerships all across the United States and potentially globally as well. So that's what I do.
Okay. So I'm not surprised you found a job at a, crypto thing, because it's just, you're such an enthusiast and you know more about it than anyone in my little circle. So that's why I wanted to get here. So let's just we're going to start with some basic stuff and work our way up to the philosophical stuff. Like, what do you tell to somebody? What do you say to somebody who's a non-believer who thinks, it's just a speculative bubble? It's like, it's tulip mania, whatever. We're going to get into that. And there are some people you're never going to convince, and some people who are already convinced, and then there's lots in between. But so we'll get into that. But what exactly is a crypto?
So cryptocurrency is nothing different than what we might have used in the past. It's currency. It moves. The key here is it's decentralized. That's a very core component of cryptocurrency, meaning there's no one body managing or owning or controlling the supply. Another thing with cryptocurrency is it's distributed. So it's decentralized, it's distributed on different nodes or on different applications, different PCs, and all the information is readily viewable. Although it is anonymous, it's readily
They call that a
anyone.
ledger, right? They call that the ledger.
Yeah, they call it a ledger.
On the blockchain?
The blockchain just means that each transaction on the chain is signed by the next person ahead of you. So that's hence blockchain. There's blocks which contain information, and the chain has information about the previous block. So that's kind of the technology. So cryptocurrency is just a decentralized medium of exchange that is publicly viewable to anyone.
Okay, so it's publicly viewable. So that, I think that's supposed to help keep it honest, right? So everybody sees everything.
Yeah, the goal of Bitcoin, which is one of the most popularized and first mover, is that the transactions are anonymous. You don't know if it's Mitch Goldberg or Filippo moving whatever said Bitcoin, but all of those transactions are on the blockchain. So it kind of solves issues with double spending. It solves issues with fraud, and it allows everything to kind of happen organically. There's no governing body hiding or shielding any of those transactions from the user base.
Because I think one of the things that are appealing about Bitcoin is, specifically Bitcoin, is that there's only a finite amount. In other words, as central governments print money like crazy, they have no it's like they have no care to how many dollars or yen or euros that they print, and that could make the currency worth less. So if you have all of your assets in the dollar, great. So your assets, your stocks, your real estate are going up in price, but the dollar is going down. So you're just really breaking even in a way. I could think of it that way if possible. But Bitcoin is just a finite amount, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin, I believe it's 21 million Bitcoin will only ever be in circulation. However, I believe the number is much smaller than that due to people losing access to their wallets, people losing access to their keys. And what you said about the dollar, this is why I'm so bullish on cryptocurrency, is exactly that. Limited supply. Some of the cryptocurrencies do have unlimited supply, such as Dogecoin and others. So you have to kind of be careful. There's pros and cons to inflation. So there's pros to having unlimited supply because you can have more money. The dollar has unlimited supply. So obviously there's a use case. But the bull case for Bitcoin specifically is that limited supply will make it scarce over time. You also have miners, and as time goes on, they are rewarded less. So that creates a little bit of a supply crunch as well. So over time, there will be less miners flooding the market with newly minted Bitcoins.
Let me just throw this out there. So your digital wallet is more or less your account, right?
Yes. Your digital wallet, you can have a software wallet and you can have a hardware wallet, but both basically allow you to hold Bitcoins, on the blockchain.
So when someone opens up an account at Coinbase, that's a
Yes.
software wallet, right?
Yes, because it's sitting there on the exchange. It's actually not truly in their possession. Coinbase is more like a custodial account where they hold your cryptos in your specific wallet, but it's not actually broken out into, off the exchange. And that's why you have people investing in hardware wallets, or they can actually pull the serial numbers off and hide them in a Marble notebook or a safety deposit box.
Right, so you could actually keep your Bitcoin. You take that little jumble of electrons and put it off the chain and put it into a hardware unit.
Yeah, there's hardware. Yeah, you could put it on a piece of paper. But once those keys are off the exchange, that's why you have so many issues with individuals losing their passphrases, their keywords. So if you keep your coins on Coinbase, it's less secure, but you have a little bit more peace of mind.
Right, because if you lose your keys or your password, you're screwed. You're SOL. You can't get it back, right?
Yeah, so there's a double edge to there. So part of the draw for cryptocurrencies, you actually own your coins. You own your funds, whereas the bank, you store your money in the bank or any of these other traditional financial instruments, and they can lend it out. So the bull case for crypto is privacy. You're actually owning it. You're holding it. It's yours. Things of that nature.
Okay, and I think one of the things that's drove crypto to crazy heights, and I mean, a lot of it was, Elon Musk talking up crypto, and then crypto took off. He said,
Right.
We have Bitcoin, and they put Tesla put $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, which, given the size of the company, $1.5 billion is actually minuscule. And then he talked about Dogecoin. Dogecoin went all the way up to about 70 cents, and then it plunged.
Yeah.
And to me, I look at somebody like that. This is my financial advisor cap on, and I say, wow, that guy really needs to be more responsible, because people are adults. They make their own decisions, but they do follow him. And, then he's not into Bitcoin because mining causes too much pollution. Then Dogecoin falls apart. And now I understand he wants to take a stake in XRP, which is, much smaller than Bitcoin, but it's still the top 5 biggest coins out there, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of points that you just hit on. So first and foremost, as an influential figure in the space, I believe the SEC should come in. I mean, there is a lack of regulation right now in crypto. So nothing he did is per se illegal, but I think it is a little unethical for him to pump and dump specific crypto. You also mentioned XRP being one of the top ones. I agree with that. Lumens is another one, which we're bullish on. Meowcoin is built on Stellar Lumens. But he, not just Tesla, Visa's involved, MasterCard, PayPal, all of these companies are adding cryptocurrency to their asset, their balance sheet. And sorry for those bears here, crypto is not going away. There was just an article released about an hour ago that Stellar might be purchasing, it's a rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news, but they might be purchasing MoneyGram. So you're going to see a lot of these legacy financial systems and instruments kind of fade away. And digital currency is nothing new. I mean, you get direct deposit. This is just a different form, a different medium of exchange.
I would say that, like, the dollar is already digitized in a way. I mean, we're not really using a lot of cash. It's all credit cards, direct deposits, automated clearinghouse, wires. Money is already moving around in a digital form. When you hear the Fed prints money, they're not actually printing actual dollar bills. They're actually creating electronic credits that they then put on the balance sheets of banks. It's electronic. Do you think it's possible for any of the cryptos in their current form to displace the dollar, or do you think the dollar becomes its own version of a coin? And I mean, it's hard for me to think that something's going to replace the dollar, but compete with the
Yeah.
dollar, maybe?
Well, I think already these cryptocurrencies are competing with the dollar because you have people. One of the cryptocurrencies out there, there's something called stable coins. So US dollar coin is a stable coin. It's basically a cryptocurrency where it's backed dollar for dollar by the dollar. So to say that crypto will replace the dollar, I think the dollar, as long as the United States is around, you're going to have the dollar. But you're already seeing people accept cryptocurrency. I use it amongst friends to pay for things. I always ask, if I'm at a party or something, if I have to pay for a pizza or something, I could send crypto. I'm very crypto centric, and I think as more people,
it's natural for you. It's like,
yeah,
you want to pay me in dollars. You want to pay me. You don't really care. To you, it's just you're getting paid or you're paying someone, and that's the end of it. So for you, it's a natural thing.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me because I'm bullish on crypto. So for me, this is my accumulation phase. But the key here is I value my privacy, and a lot of these existing payment systems, credit cards, Venmo, PayPal, they're selling your data to hedge funds, to advertisers, and crypto takes some of that power away from them. And I think as a society, with Apple releasing all of their updates to the store and permissions, we value privacy. We've seen that.
We do value privacy
and things like that.
But so criminals value privacy also. So what about illicit activities? Drug dealing or arms dealing.
Yeah.
What about that? How do there was a hack, Colonial Pipeline, the biggest gasoline pipeline. It's the biggest gasoline pipeline on the East Coast.
Right.
And for a few scary days, about 6 weeks ago, gas stations up and down the East Coast started to run out of gas. And we were worried, like, how could this happen? Such a major part of our energy infrastructure got hit with ransomware. So Colonial Pipeline, the company that operates it, paid millions of dollars in Bitcoin, but then the FBI was able to trace it and get that money back. So how private is it really? I'm happy they were able to trace it, by the way, but that's me.
So you're saying they were able to trace where the transaction came from?
They were able to get back the money. I don't know if they got it back in terms of form of Bitcoin or cash, but they said that there was a tail or there was a digital footprint of who transacted in the crypto.
Yeah.
And they were able, it wasn't as anonymous as a lot of us thought.
Yeah. I can't comment specifically on that one
okay.
event because I'm not familiar with what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What I can say is wallets are anonymous, meaning there's different type of wallets. There's something like Coinbase requires ID. That's called Know Your Customer, KYC. Certain wallets require that and certain wallets do not. So again, I don't know what happened in that particular situation, but
I don't know much about I know a little bit about KYC, but I know more about KFC.
Yeah, KFC is great. But my point being, I think regulation is good, but to a certain extent. Once you start controlling what people can do and selling information, that's why I'm anti-Venmo and all these other payment softwares. I do use them, but I believe if you have a DeFi wallet is a wallet that does not have.
I was going to say DeFi, decentralized finance. Yep.
Absolutely. If you have a DeFi wallet, you don't have your name, you don't have your social. The only thing it is attached to is an email, which you could create separately, a passphrase, which you can create separately, and there's nothing identifiable. So yeah, maybe they were able to track the transaction, but I'm curious to find out how they.
All right. So here's my thing. First of all, there's a few people out there. I just want to welcome Asher. We know is out there. Vanessa, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate that. And Josh is out there. Eric is out there. Mark says hi. Yep, there it is. Mark says hi. Hey, buddy. And Josh is out there. What's up, Josh? Good to see you.
Good people.
Thank you.
Good people.
Absolutely. Let me pull up a screen real quick, okay?
Sure.
And let's just hopefully you guys could all see this on your little smartphone screen. But, we were just talking a few days ago how Bitcoin was plunging. It's the end of the world for Bitcoin. It's under 30,000, back to 29,000, the first time in months. But here we are. It's up 6% today, up almost $2,000 a coin. Ethereum jumps up almost 9%. Litecoin jumps up over 7%. XRP up 6%. Even that little POS.
Let's not mention it because that's our competitor, Meowcoin's right there. But if you take a look at the list,
I have to say it's like Dogecoin is a joke.
Yeah,
and
Meowcoins is not. Our mission is to actually help do something good. But I just want to point out, Mitch, these all will trade sort of in tandem with Bitcoin because most cryptocurrencies can only be purchased with other cryptocurrencies. So that's kind of why you see this move in parity. But you said we were nervous. Bitcoin's plunging. It's the end of the world. If you believe in it, and I can send you articles from 2011. If you believe in it, you will stay the course. You will DCA, dollar cost average, which is something I'm sure you recommend for your clients. But Bitcoin in 2011 dropped from $37 down to $7. Can you imagine even a $100 investment, which would have been 3 Bitcoins then, selling for loss in 2011 because the end of the world? So you got to really just decide, are you in this for the long haul? Are you an investor or are you a gambler? Are you a speculator?
What is exactly a miner? Like what are these people doing? Like, I mean, I'm thinking of, it takes a tremendous amount of energy, and a lot of people are concerned about Bitcoin because it's environmentally bad for the economy. So how does that exactly work? Like how many computers do you need to mine for a Bitcoin?
So you could mine on a PC. That's why there's a crunch on high-end graphics cards, AMD, Intel, which I'm very bullish on Intel earnings this week. You can mine on a PC. However, the reward, you won't break even based on the electrical output. So the electricity it takes would outpace your gains. So that's why mining gravitates to places where energy is very cheap, like China in the past. Now there's a big ban in China. But I want to get to the question that you asked, what is a miner? But just to answer your question, you're going to see people gravitate to where energy is most cost efficient. So right now, I think people are moving to Pakistan, South America. The Bitcoin miners are relocating, and that's why there was a sudden drop, in my opinion, was because they had to sell Bitcoin or their crypto holdings to cover the cost of relocating their equipment. To answer what is a miner is like a notary public. A miner is rewarded in cryptocurrency by their by the blockchain for validating or verifying a transaction. So if I want to buy something from Mitch in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, the miner is recognizing that specific transaction and uploading it to the blockchain and then being rewarded because it takes a tremendous amount of algorithmic power to verify that that's a new transaction. And that also causes issues in the blockchain, why people go away from Bitcoin and other blockchains is because there's a delay. They want to prevent one block segmenting and creating many errors. So that's why Bitcoin is slower than some of the other blockchains. So that's kind of what a miner does. They validate, they verify, and they upload it to the blockchain.
Okay,
and we're actually getting away from that. So there's now with Ethereum, which is another blockchain, they're doing an update called Ethereum 2.0. They want to move away from proof of work, which is what mining does, and they want to do proof of stake. They want people to hold crypto, and that'll get away from mining to help the whole economic environment.
And then they get rewarded with a little bit more.
They get rewarded for holding Ethereum there and other Bitcoins. Like for example, with Meowcoin, we want people to be able to earn Meowcoin, not mine it. So that's one of our longer term goals.
But if they earn Ethereum or any other crypto, it has to come from somewhere. So somebody has to eventually put their computers together and get their algorithmic power sky high so that they could create it so that you could earn it. I mean, when a bank lends money, they get paid, you pay interest. If I borrow money, I pay interest. And if you have a bank deposit, you're collecting some of that interest.
Yeah, so this is where we get into gray areas with crypto. So there's no finite amount of Ethereum. Some of these cryptos don't have a finite amount because they require gas in Ethereum's case. That's why they want to get away from it. It costs, the currency is used on the blockchain. So Bitcoin's currency is Bitcoin. It's the same blockchain and the same currency. Ethereum uses Ether. So in order
to be a coin, you have to have a blockchain. It's simple as that.
You got it. But in order to conduct a transaction, for example, I love Stellar Lumens because the fee is 0.00001 lumen, which ends up being like, 1/10,000th of a penny to move the money. So that's why I'm bullish on Stellar, and Ripple is very similar as well. But the whole money coming from somewhere, these blockchains sort of create their own demand because you need to use the currency in order to move the asset. Does that make sense? Kind of clear it up a little bit.
Or you could trade it. I guess you could trade it as well. I think that's where stablecoin comes in.
But when you trade Ethereum and you trade one of these things, you have to send Ethereum to send it. You have to spend money. So kind of like a trading fee. That's where it goes back to the miners, things like that. With Bitcoin, there's never any more Bitcoin, but the miners are rewarded. Once all of the Bitcoin is mined, we will move to supply and demand only, where the fee will be determined by the miners and the people trading. So there's a lot that we don't know yet in the next 100 years where Bitcoin is still being mined.
Well, that's what gets me. It's like, I have to say, most of the people I talk to about Bitcoin, and I think there's an age thing because as people get older, they believe in it less. But a lot of people I speak to are just like, this is total bullshit. This is just this flash in the pan. Governments don't want it. China is banning it. And I think other central governments, the US and Europe, they're watching very carefully what China's doing because they're moving first. It's not that we should imitate China. It's just that we want to see how this is going to shake out. I could see a time when crypto is either banned or so heavily regulated that there is not an advantage. I'm just trying to get my head around it. It's like I know what my dollars are, and they might be buying more or less depending on inflation, but I know that they're pretty stable. When you use a crypto to buy something, let's say you buy something $10,000 worth of crypto, your crypto could go up in price so quickly. How does the seller of a product, you accept it without some kind of insurance of knowing that, or assurance that they're going to get the price that they expect?
So there's a couple of things. Number one, if you're accepting crypto, you're willing to accept the volatility. But this is where stable coins come into play, where you have the US dollar coin. There's another company that I don't like as much called USD Tether, where they basically track the dollar. So you could still tokenize yen, euros, and some of these companies are doing it. Stellar's blockchain has a number of these traditional currencies tokenized, and you could send it and receive it instantaneously with no fee. So why would you use a wire or something that's legacy? So yeah, the bear cases is it fluctuates in price, but the bull thesis is you can accumulate at varying prices, DCA, and longer term. If you take a look at Bitcoin or any of these cryptocurrencies longer term, you could see gains of 100 to 1,000%. So yeah, maybe the 3 month or 1 year, whatever, down 90%. But if you believe in the technology, you have to anticipate that.
Either you believe it or you don't.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do is say, how do you convince somebody to be a believer, or is it just as simple as either you do or you don't? Like, if my favorite color to wear is black, that's what I believe. You can't convince me that my favorite color should be red because it's black right now. So how do you convince somebody, or it's just that you don't convince the unconvincible and they'll figure it out after something big happens?
I think the answer is kind of like, it's like religion, believing is seeing and not seeing is believing. You have Grayscale, which is a very big investment firm, buying Bitcoin. You have all of these companies buying Bitcoin. Kathy Wood is bullish on it. So
from the ARK funds, by the way.
Yeah. So there's over $1 trillion in crypto right now. So obviously there's a demand. So for me, follow the money. I've been following this thing for a few years. I also was a bear when Bitcoin was at $100, and I was laughing at my friend who told me about it. Just buy $1,000, buy $1,000. So at this point, it's too big, it's too relevant, it's in the media. I'm bullish, but
Right.
to kind of answer some of these questions. Is there crypto here to stay? What's the crypto? We don't know. Just like when the internet came out, there were like 10 different internet providers, Netscape, AOL, this and that.
There was At Home, there was Excite, so many search engines. I remember all these there was Lycos, there was At Home, there were a whole bunch of, I can't remember all of them, but Google wasn't invented until about 7 to 10 years later.
Yeah.
And so is it possible that the crypto of the future hasn't even been invented yet?
Absolutely. And that's why
that's the risk. That's the risk, right?
That's the risk. And that's why I always tell people my rule of thumb is 1% of net worth. You can't get hurt if it's 1% of your net worth, but that 1% could generate 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 percent gain. So that's where I always defer and say, speak to your advisor,
old
speak
expression
to your CPA,
from your lips to
manage
God's
your
ears.
risk, because I do hold crypto, but I do sell on the rips. I buy on the dips. It's very simple. The adage, buy low, sell high. You have to manage your risk.
Got a quick question here from Dustin. Hey guys, do you think crypto is here to stay? And if it is, what cryptocurrency will be dominant? When will these meme currencies finally die off? I guess like Dogecoin is the best example.
Yeah. My answer to this is diversification. You take 10 projects. If you go on CoinMarketCap, you take a look, the top 10 projects, they all have good intentions and they all solve different issues. Some solve payments, some solve application, like Ethereum is more for applications. So I do think crypto's here to stay. I think the top 20 are all good bets, and the meme currencies won't die off, because at the end of the day, people buy trading cards, people buy, they bet horses. Speculation is always going to be part of the market, and people are going to want to spend money where they're going to want to spend money. Mitch, you have kids. I'm sure some of the viewers have kids. They spend digital currency on skins for Fortnite or different video games.
That's what I was telling. Those are like NFTs. My son has thousands of dollars worth of Fortnite tools. Some of them he paid very little for, and he can sell them for a lot more. Now, to us, it's like, why would you pay money for a digital axe or gun?
Yeah.
But to these kids, they use it. To them, it makes their gaming experience better. The other kids are wowed by it, and it becomes something of value.
It's all about the community. So the meme currencies, it's about the community. There's things like Decentraland, Sandbox, which are virtual worlds where people are spending thousands, if not, ridiculous money to buy plots of land. They're developing the land in these virtual worlds, and they're buying artwork in the museums there. I mean, it's the boat, because you think it's a scam. You can't buy when it's already mainstream, because then it's too late. So you got to try to manage your risk there.
One of these days, I'm going to get my head wrapped around believing in crypto.
Absolutely. Hopefully soon.
Listen, if you're a trader, it doesn't matter. I buy what's going up. It's the greater fool theory, because when you buy something specifically because you think someone else will pay even more for it. I'm not calling anybody a fool. Just some people are adroit at trading, and most people aren't. Yeah. Some people just want to find it fascinating, and I happen to find this whole subject fascinating. So I want to thank you for joining me today, man. I really, really appreciate it. Believe it or not, we're on for 34 minutes already.
Yeah,
and,
it goes fast.
It flew by. It's fascinating. We'll do it again, okay?
Yeah, please do. And for everyone out there, if you're interested, meowcoins.com. Every purchase helps animals. So take a look, do your own due diligence. Any questions you have, reach out.
Okay. Just want to say that when we use the word diversification, that's a strategy that we use to mitigate risk, but it will not protect your portfolio from going down in a generally down market. I have to make sure I get my little disclaimers. I'm really good at this. Like, I have these all memorized. I get them out. I work them into the conversation, how you doing. By the way, past performance is no indication of no promise of future performance. You don't have to get that in there. Thank you very much, buddy. I'm going to let you go, and we'll talk soon. All right. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. All right. So that's my friend Filippo, talking all about crypto. And I think it's a fascinating topic. Buyer beware. It's a very nascent market. And I'm still thinking that a lot of this is BS and it's just tulip mania. And ultimately a real asset provides either cash flow or some kind of benefit of service or products. It provides a benefit to society and that people are willing to pay for. I just don't see that with crypto. And yeah, maybe it's a currency, but I already have currency that's proven to work, and that's the dollar. So why do I want to bet on another currency? Okay, because it's private. All right. Well, I don't think I'm doing anything so illicit that I need such total privacy, from American Express and MasterCard, Visa. But we're going to find out, and whatever happens, folks, the situation with crypto is changing so quickly that whatever we think and we learn today, it's bound to become obsolete over the very near term. One more comment out there from Emilio. Awesome stuff, Phil. Okay, thank you, Emilio, and I will make sure Filippo sees your comment. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'll talk to you soon. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.